Hello and welcome. Today I'll be showing you how to get like a randomizer in Minecraft. Now this will be to like get a random item and stuff like that. So I'm gonna show you the command way, which I had made two types here. One is better than the other. But then I'm also gonna show you the redstone one, which is off over in yonder there. What? Anyways, so this one, my first thought was to, as you can see on the right, on the on the right side there, there's random X and random Y, because there's only really three ways to get randomness in Minecraft. Now in the Bedrock edition, there's a fourth way with pistons, which is I don't really get the randomness, and it might not be like I just didn't want to do that, but that is something that I don't like anyways, the randomness of pistons. I wish that wasn't a feature in this edition, but anyways, so there's three ways to get it. The first being the pistons. Second way is scoreboards, so here we go. You can do the random, so you pick a random number from 0 to 6, random Y, and so then what it does, it picks those random numbers, it takes the chest, because before these were chests, but then they're now shulker boxes, so, but this, I believe this system still works. I'm not going to do it because it's terrible anyways. So this armor stand is here, so it takes the shulker box, it puts it up here, then disables it, and when it disables it, it basically means that it puts I think red sandstone underneath, and that checks if there's red sandstone, because you don't want to be taking an item and then taking like another of the same item, and then there's now a duplicate. So yeah, that was my first version of this, and then you reset the armor stand, which is putting it here. And now this checks if there's one on the X, then it moves on the X axis. I believe this is the X axis here. I don't know. I haven't tested this in a while, but and then it moves it, and then it subtracts 1. So say got 5, so go 1, now it's 4, 2, now it's 3, 3, now it's 2, 2, now it's 1, or I'm losing count. And so then, yeah, it would just land here. Or, wait, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would land here. So, it also does that for the Y. So, right here, check done. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, it checks this one, checks the Y, and then it moves it, and then it removes it, and then check done X and check done Y, and then reset system. This should be check random Y. Let me just change that really quick. There we go. So that makes more sense. So then it checks if it's done, and then it resets the system, basically meaning it removes redstone blocks. So it's in the new position. Whenever you activate it again, it'll take the chest and do all that stuff. And then you can reset the chest, meaning it just sets all this to sandstone. Now there's nothing in here right now, so you won't take anything. But eventually this will fill up with like random items and stuff that you put in here. But of course, you would have to reset it. It's like, oh, this one has a red sandstone under it, so now I click this and then take the item out and stuff like that, and it's not good. So anyway, right here, this resets the shulkers, meaning that they just all get placed back. I don't think you actually need that. So anyway, how this works? Why is a redstone block? Okay, so how this works, it takes a random place. Now there's the other way of getting randomness, which is spread players. Now, spread players is really useful for randomness, but it's really buggy. It doesn't work that well because of many reasons, which I will get to later. So the reason why I've made this is because this is for the Hermitron Go stuff. So yeah, I just made this for the Hermitron Go, and then eventually it'll be finished. So it'll take a random place, it'll take the whatever shulker box it has, and then we'll get oh, new chest, meaning so what happens here is, so all the leftovers, so meaning like say this it was Hermitron Go, and you collect all of the stuff, and then this is the discard pile, the Hermitrons that you don't need, you put it in there, and so then the new yeah, okay, so it then filters it one by one. So now then there'd be one item in here. So now it would take it and it put it in there, and so then now it's added back into the randomness. So slowly this gets reused. All the items get reused and stuff. So yeah, replace chest. It puts a new one there, an empty new one there. Remove block. Yeah, it sets that to air, and then it sets it back to redstone to get a observer update, which goes by one tick, which puts another item into there to be randomized again. So yeah, that's this. So it puts it into here, and this isn't really used because this is for later use. So it puts an item into there, and then the observer detects an item being put into there, and that will add one to the items thing, which isn't implemented yet. I still have a few things to do. So yeah, it does that, and it doesn't go to a shulker box because the shulker box is dependent on the color. Yeah, see, shulker 1, shulker 2, shulker 3, so those would place the shulkers there, and then it would do all the stuff. So yeah, this is, ignore this system doesn't work well, but this system right here, so say I remove that and place one there, so now there's a new shulker box, and whatever was in that shulker box is now put into this hopper here, and it's detected, so it'd add an item and stuff. I don't have any items in here, so you can't really see what's happening, but yeah, it is working. And so then whatever was in this shulker box was now placed here, so it's reused. You don't get any clones or repeats, and it's not slow, because this one's a bit slow, because it's like, oh, gotta go from this position, boop, 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 boop. It goes every game tick, but it is still kind of slow. This just happens in one game tick. And this is expandable, so that one's also expandable. You just add another one to the random thing there. This one's also expandable, but it needs to be in a square for it to work. So you can expand this, but spread players in the Bedrock edition is buggy, very buggy. So I was doing this thing here. This is to place to randomize where the Hermitron would go. So I would step on this. It would set me into the scoreboard. It would put me somewhere, and then it would add a tick area, teleport the stand, TP me back, and then remove the player from the scoreboard. And so then I would do that, but then if you put in too big of an area, you were stuck here. Like the pressure plate would be down. You couldn't like place or mine any blocks. You were just kind of stuck here. You were able to like teleport somewhere, but it's like boop, 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 and like everything was just kind of frozen. There's also so I lowered down the spread of the scoreboard or of the spread player, and it works, except then there was like random chunks that you couldn't get into, and like some weren't loaded and stuff. Like I wasn't able to get into this section here. It would just like the chunk would block me. I couldn't like move past it and stuff. But then like the chunks that were like in this area weren't loaded, but I could like still mine and break. I couldn't mine and break anything in there, and I could teleport myself into here. But then it was the same problem over there where it's like you're just kind of stuck there. You can move around, you can't mine or break, and stuff like that. So it kind of breaks the chunks and it does all that stuff. So Spread Players is kind of broken. And if you want to see how broken it is and how interesting it is, actually, you can see my video on slowing down and stopping the game ticks in Minecraft. I'll put an iCard right now, and with that I use Spread Player, and if you put in a certain amount and then did it, the game ticks would run slower. So you could see like how every game tick worked is like boom, boom, boom. Like if you threw a snowball, it'd kind of slowly move, or like a sand block. A sand block would be here, it would fall, but then whenever the game tick updated, the sand block would be like moved down a little bit, and then it would fall again, move down a little bit, fall again. It just kind of, it kept on moving down slowly, but it kept on having a shorter path. It's like a bounce thing. It's like boing, 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 boing. But it didn't like do that. Example. So yeah, that was so yeah, you should definitely see that video because it was very interesting. And then if you put it in a higher value to the Spread Players, the game ticks just stopped. So the chunk loading stopped. Throwing a potion or whatever stopped, and you were just kind of you were able to move completely fine, but everything else was just completely frozen. It was pretty interesting. Command blocks work with game ticks, so whenever the game tick slowed, the command slowed, and if the game tick stopped, then you couldn't do any commands. So yeah, it's very interesting. I'd recommend you seeing that. But now onto the Redstone version over here. So this was the old item randomizer, and for some reason that is constantly going, and I don't know why. It's just been constantly on in this area here. So anyway, I just made this really quick, and one day because I wanted to make an item randomizer. It's really terrible, and I uploaded the video, and I don't know why. So anyway, what would happen to randomize it? You would this dropper would be activated and it would go into those two, which would randomize and go into those three. I think there's yeah, I think there's three, and then that goes out into 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, there's 6 there. And so then I was thinking like, well, for another randomizer, what I could do a bigger version of this. But then, of course, I realized that there's binary. I could do binary, and because binary works better than this, because say this goes and activates this one, but not that one. This randomizer doesn't go off, so you lose efficiency in the randomizer. And so then this one would go and it would do all that stuff, but you lose efficiency in the randomizer because you don't use this randomizer and you don't use that randomizer. But if you utilize all the randomizers, which is what binary does, then you would be able to get more combinations and stuff. So I was thinking about that. I was like, well, I could make like a binary system, because then you'd be using all of the randomizers, so you wouldn't have. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think how many randomizers? I think there's 4 here. So the 4 randomizers get into 6 random outputs, but 4 randomizers in binary would lead to like I think like 16 or 32. I think it would be 16. So 1, 2, 4, 8. I think it's actually 16. So it gets you 16 random outputs if you use the 4 droppers into binary. But then I realized what I could do, which is what this system is, what I could do I could take a shulker box and have it filled a certain amount, and that would get a comparator output. So I didn't use binary. I could still, maybe. No, probably not. I won't. So this system right here, it spits out the shulker box here, and that gets a length here, and then it breaks it with this piston, and then the shulker box gets put into the hopper, and then put into the dropper here, and well, there's a dropper here that is then dispensed up into there. So the difficulty with this system here, what I found out is that it's hard to get that dropper to activate after everything else. But that one, I mean, I guess that was kind of pretty easy. Just kind of, well, I was trying to compact it as well, so that was kind of a little bit difficult. But then another difficult part was trying to get this hopper to not take any items from the shulker box. So I wanted this to go, and then this hopper to be active or deactivated to then pick it up. And so that one was a little bit difficult. I try to make it as compact as possible, maybe. Could I make this more compact? I probably could. Or maybe not. I don't know. So yeah, I did that. But then every so often, the piston would push the shulker box and it would just go out of the system. It would just fly out of the system. So I think I had like a compact version here, but then I had to extend it a bit because of this hopper here. I had to add another hopper, and this is sometimes used in case the shulker box decides to shoot off this way, get stuck into the hopper. And so then that goes into that hopper and stuff, and so then I had to have more delay into the hopper there in case when it's that hopper to add more delay into that, and then activate the dropper and stuff like that. So this is so then it goes into here, and this will only activate one depending on the redstone signal length. So I just have this set up here to make sure that it only activates one based on the signal length. And so then it goes into all these droppers here, and I think I only have like a dispenser and lever into all of these. So what you could do, you could place a chest here and then send all the items through, and I added in this simple system here that simply just kind of sorts it all out so evenly. So say you have a stack of like 3 redstone blocks and like other items, because you don't want to put just 3 redstone blocks in there because they go into those 3 and stuff. But anyway, so you put in 3 redstone blocks and other items, and then 1 redstone block, 1 redstone block, 1 redstone block, and then the rest of the items all get sorted out evenly. So there's no stacking of items. So you can see I just put in like a bunch of dispensers and a bunch of levers, and they all spread out evenly with this simple system here. And so then all these dispensers are activated, and so then this has a 9 like probability thing, and then these all have a 9 probability thing. So you can have 81 items probability right here with this small system. And then that, oh, and these are all dispensers. They should be droppers, because then if you have like fire or flint and steel, not fire, flint and steel, then it light it up and stuff like that. So yeah, just be sure to put droppers there. So yeah, I can activate this system here, and it fired it out, and there we go. First probability right there. And if they're droppers, I don't think they would shoot out. So just works like that. I should have seen which one it was. Now there's 2 dispensers there, and activate it again. I think that was the first one. No, it wasn't. That might have been the second one. Now I have 3 dispensers. It's really random, as you can tell. So this is, now I have a lever, and I think I'd activate that one, so there's no more in that one. So yeah, this is pretty reliable now. The shulker boxes don't get lost. I tested this several times. you always get an output and stuff. So you can activate this 5 times to get 5 different random items. Of course, I just have a bunch of dispensers and levers here. So yeah, this is the whole system right here. And what you could also do, you could have a you can have a thing like this where you have a bed and redstone dust, or just a stackable and non-stackable item. And what you could do, you could have this system here, but then you could have it to where if you get the stackable item, then it goes into this one. If you get a stacked item, then it goes into the other one. So then you double up the possibilities. So there'd be 162 items just by adding in that one thing there. And in order to sort it out, all you could do is just have a drop or a hopper here, not a dropper, and then have the 2 chests here, double chest here. So then, whenever you activate the thing that like would put them into the hoppers, they get placed evenly because one item will go into there, one item will go into there every game tick or whatever, however it works. And so then this one would go into another system here, and that would be that. So yeah, you could have 162 items, and this is all with no commands, just redstone. So yeah, just 3 ticks there, 3 ticks there, 1 for redstone, all layered, torch, piston, and an observer. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I got nothing else to say. Bye.